Okay, let me confirm one more time whether it is visible or not and I am properly audible or not. Okay, ठीक है. So uh, we are now already taken the overview about the gas. In states of matter, we have considered all about the solid, liquid, gas, their interaction between their molecules, between their atoms, what will be the uh, nature of movement is there in gas, distance in between the two molecules when we consider the gas, when we consider the liquid, and when we consider the solid. So, first point is already we have discussed, that is gas are highly compressible. Gases are highly compressible because in between two molecules of gas there is so much space which is available, so that more and more pressure we can apply onto the gas and make it compress, so that combinedly we can say the gas is highly compressible. Gases are having low density, as the gases and the molecules of gases are always residing far away from each other, so that when we consider the volume, a gas can occupy any volume. So when we consider the volume, the density would be very less, because the concentration or the molecules present in gas are very less in that particular volume. It may be in numbers. Then further we have discussed about the diffusion. Diffusion, we have given the various examples. We have, you can say, uh, try to explain, try to understand the diffusion by considering various examples. In that we have taken the example of ink. When we put a drop of ink in water, after some time, the drop get spread evenly in the beaker containing water or a glass containing water. It is getting evenly distributed. All the ink molecule getting evenly distributed, so that why it is happening, because earlier get when a drop of ink is put in the center point of that water which is accommodated with the drop, that is acting as the region of higher concentration, whereas there is nothing whereas there is nothing, uh, the molecule of ink is not yet reached. That region can be considered as the region of lower concentration or negligible concentration for the ink. So that when the uh, so that when the ink so that the ink molecules try to spread spontaneously at its own from its region of higher concentration toward the region of lower concentration. And at the end, what we are getting the system wherein all the ink molecules got spread evenly. Okay, this is occurring by the virtue of uh, by the virtue of diffusion process. Diffusion process, concentration driven. From the region of higher concentration, the molecules are trying to get towards the lower concentration. Keep in mind, the particles are not going, molecules are going. So for the diffusion to occur, the molecule should be there in the water. The solution should be there, not the suspension. So this is the prior thing that is needed when we consider the diffusion process. When solution will be there, when the drug is getting solubilized, then only further diffusion process can be occurring. Okay, so this is the diffusion. Then gas can fill the container uniformly at any region of the container. It may be irregular in shape. the gas can get accommodated. The gas can take the place with any irregular shape also, tube also, minor crevices also. The gas can take its place. Gas can accommodate over there. Then next, gas can exert pressure uniformly on sides of a container independently of the height or depth. When we consider the liquid, when we consider a liquid, just imagine that we have placed a liquid in a closed container. Now you can easily guess that when liquid will be there in a container, when liquid will be there in a container, then liquid can exert its pressure onto the bottom of the container and additionally onto the side wall of the container up to the level, side wall पे भी कितना, up to the the level of the liquid. That much amount of side wall is only getting exerted by a pressure of that liquid, whereas the side wall, which is not get covered by the liquid, touched by the liquid, it will not going to feel the exerted pressure by the liquid. So this is the difference. So this is the liquid scenario. Now consider the gas. When we pour the gas inside any container, gas only can have the ability to exert the pressure of the bottom at all the side walls as well as on the top of the container also. Means whichever the point which is coming in the, which is the inside point which is coming, which is touching the gas can exert the pressure on each of the internal point of the container. So this is the main difference in between the gas and the liquid. Yes. Now we will see some equations which is related to gases. So one by one we will see. So these three laws we need to see in detail now to understand the nature of the gas. Am I audible to all of you properly? And is the screen visible? Yeah. So these three laws are there to understand the gas properly. Okay, one by one you see Boyle's law, where Boyle's law tells us that volume is directly proportional to 1 upon P. Volume is directly proportional to 1 upon P if or when we keep number of molecules and temperature of the gas constant, then volume is directly proportional to 1 by P. It can be read as volume is inversely proportional to P. Notice the difference. When I am saying directly proportional, I am saying 1 upon P. But when I am not saying 1 upon P, then I am telling it is inversely proportional. So this is this kind of expression. You must notice the difference of that. So directly in simpler manner, you can tell it by both ways. V, that is volume, is directly proportional to inverse of pressure, or in another way we can say that volume is inversely proportional to pressure. Volume is inversely proportional to pressure. How is the relationship? In a simple manner we can say when volume will get increased, pressure will get decreased, or when pressure will get increased, volume will get decreased. You can cross check with our common sense that a gas is there in a container Okay, a gas is there in a container. Now apply the pressure from upward, from top side to a piston. When we when we apply the pressure, we are pressurizing the gas, and when we are pressurizing the gas, the piston move downwards, and when the piston move downward, the volume of the gas is getting reduced. Lesser volume is getting reduced and reduced and reduced as we go on increasing the pressure. As we go on increasing the pressure, volume is getting reduced and reduced. So this is told by Boyle's law. But all these things we need to do when temperature during all this process we need to keep constant, and number of molecules also needed to be kept constant. So Boyle's law is telling us the relationship between volume and pressure, or pressure and volume. And what is the relationship? Relationship is simple. When pressure is getting increased, the volume is getting decreased. When pressure is getting decreased, volume is getting increased. Imagine the same piston. Now we are moving the piston away or to in the upward direction. So what will happen? The gas will get more and more space to get occupied. And when gas will occupy with more and more space, whatever has been available, when we move the piston in the upward direction, then obviously gas will get expanded, gas will take up much more volume. So in this way, Boyle's law is telling that V is inversely proportional to P. Understood, everyone? Everyone understood? Okay. If anyone having any doubt, just now you can tell me. I hope you got the good understanding of Boyle's law now. While telling the Boyle's law, you must have to say which thing need to remain constant. That is also equally important as the equation or the proportionals of the Boyle's law. Next one is the Charles law. Charles law is a simple thing. Charles law is telling that volume of the gas is directly proportional to T, temperature of the gas. But while keeping number of molecules of the gas and pressure of the gas constant. This is very important to, to take into consideration. Now anybody can guess, when we increase the temperature of the gas will expand, the gas will get expand. Okay, because why it is happening? Because so that you can take the example of pressure cooker. Pressure cooker. Okay, when we increase the temperature of the pressure cooker, the gas is coming out, vapors are coming out from the water, and when we increase the temperature, more and more vapors will come out. When we further increase the temperature, whatever the vapors that came out, they would try to exert much more pressure onto the walls. When further we increase the temperature, then more and most pressure got exerted on the walls of the pressure cooker, and so that the whistle blows. त्याची सिटी वाजते का? कारण की गॅसने आता now gas has exerted much and much more pressure onto the walls because gas got expanded. Why gas got expanded? Because we are supplying the temperature to the gas so that the gas get expanded. So relationship is increase in temperature, increase in volume of the gas. As we increase the temperature, volume of the gas will also get increased. Understood? Second point or second law, everyone? These three laws only will give you the proper understanding of the gas. And one question always comes, ideal gas equation. real gas equation, all these things. It is dependent on these laws only. Next one is the Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law. Now, let me tell you that you are going to learn already known thing. Known means it is name only you are knowing, but the understanding of that you are not knowing. I am confident about that you are not knowing that because not you might have not think in such a manner to understand that. Okay. Now let me tell you, it is belonging to Avogadro law or Avogadro number. So what it tells? It tells that at constant pressure and temperature, at constant pressure and temperature, when we keep the pressure, we have taken a gas and we kept the pressure of the gas constant and the temperature of the gas constant. We are not supplying the temperature. At the same time, we are not cooling the gas. We will not taking out the temperature from the gas. Means what we are keeping the temperature constant. When we keep both these things constant, then what Avogadro is saying that the volume is a proportional to number of gas molecules. Number of gas molecules. Means for example, at 25 degrees Celsius with 30 bar, for example, and we kept both these constant. If at this, while keeping the pressure and temperature constant, if we are getting the number of molecules, number of molecules for a particular gas or for a particular volume, it would be same. It would be same. Okay. Volume is a proportional to number of molecules. So that is the Avogadro number. Okay. Understood this? Okay. Now the next one. The volume amount relationship of Avogadro law. Okay. Here is a combined ideal equation. Combined ideal equation means we have combined all these things. Volume V is inversely proportional to V, V is directly proportional to T, and V is directly proportional to N, as you can see over here. Okay, if V, we will keep over here and will try to move P, T and N to the other side, you will notice that it will follow the all the three equation V. Okay, when V is in the here, N is in the denominator, when it will go to the different side, it will come as phi is equal to N. It will go to the numerator. So as you can see, V is directly proportional to N. Okay. Similarly, T, V is directly proportional to T. Charles law. V is directly proportional to T. Charles law. And P will go down in the denominator, means inversely proportional. So this is a combined gas equation that we have obtained from all the earlier three laws: Charles law, Boyle's law, Avogadro's law, also called as combined gas law. Amedeo Avogadro completed the studies of Boyle's, Charles, and Gay-Lucas. He published a hypothesis stated at the same temperature and pressure, equal volumes of different gases contain same number of molecules or atoms if the gas is monoatomic. The volume of any given gas must be proportional to the number of molecules present. Let me explain these complex things to you. Again, one more time I am repeating. Try to understand this. Imagine that you have taken the oxygen gas. oxygen gas, O2 gas. Then what you have done? At the same temperature, we kept the temperature of the O2 constant and pressure, same pressure. We kept the pressure of the O2 gas constant. Equal volumes of different gases, very very important. Equal volumes of different gases contain the same number of molecules. Very 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 important. Okay, see how come. One container is there. Okay, one container is there. It may be closed container. Just imagine. Okay, closed container having a lid, having a lid. Okay, open lid, open lid. Huh? Having a lid, open lid. Okay. Now that container is having certain volume. Okay, or you can say you can take a beaker instead of container. You can take a beaker. Beaker. Okay. Now keep the beaker. Keep the beaker on same temperature. Now it is empty beaker. Huh? It is empty beaker. ऑब्वियसली O2 हम इमेजिन करते हैं हम समझते हैं कि एटमॉस्फेयर में ओनली O2 है ऐसा समझेंगे ओके फॉर फॉर आवर सेक फॉर आवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑक्सीजन में सॉरी एटमॉस्फेयर में ओनली O2 है ऐसा समझेंगे एंड वी केप्ट द बीकर ओपन एंड व्हाट वी डिड we kept that beaker at constant temperature and at constant pressure okay and then we will see क्या करते हैं बीकर के ऊपर एक थोड़ी देर बाद एक लीड लगा देते लीड मीन्स एक ढक्कन लगा देते हैं ऑब्वियसली सम अमाउंट ऑफ गैस विल बी देयर inside the beaker okay now try to measure the volume obviously the gas will be measured as the you can say whatever the space will be there that would be a volume that would be a volume of the gas and the gas will occupy that much volume. Now what we will do, we will count the number of molecules in that. We will count the number of molecules in that. Say for example the gas, now the number of molecules in that volume, particular volume, it is say 100 molecules are there. 100 molecules. Now I am repeating one more time. We have taken a beaker, empty beaker, we kept it at same temperature, same pressure, and then we have closed the assembly and it will occupy a certain volume. And we notice that the molecules of oxygen over there inside the inside the uh, inside the chamber. Just 1 minute. Huh? One call is coming. Actually, speaker call. So I have to take that. I can't. 1 minute. Hello, am I audible? Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Actually, the call came from today's speaker. Actually, she wants the feedback of the today's lecture, so that immediately I have to attend that. So that I have. Okay, let it be. So I guess I am trying to explain the particular thing. I am repeating one more time. So what we have taken uh, a beaker, empty beaker with same temperature, keeping same pressure, and we close the lid, and so that a particular amount of gas would get occupied, trapped. We we find out that the number of molecules which are there is 100. Now this is O2. This is O2. Now what we have to do? Now imagine that our atmosphere now only contained with nitrogen बस. पहले हमने imagine किया था कि our atmosphere is contained with oxygen. Now you have to imagine secondly, separately, that we are contained with nitrogen only. Similar thing you have to do. Take a beaker, and then you have to keep the and same temperature and keep it constant. You have to allow the same pressure and keep it constant, and then close the lid and try to calculate find out the quantity, number of molecules present in the nitrogen gas. Now we will notice that the number of molecules are same, just like the O2. Number of molecules are same, just like the O2. It will be 100 only. Very, very important. It's a magic. Okay, if you are taking a gas, first O2, and keeping the temperature, pressure constant in a particular volume, you are getting a particular number of molecules with oxygen. But although when you are changing the gas also, still you are getting the same number of molecules when you keep the pressure and temperature constant. So here the Avogadro's law is telling us that with same volume, just come to over here. You might not have uh, understand over here. With same volume, when we keep for any gas, let me tell you, for any gas, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, any gas, when we keep the volume of the gas constant while keeping the while while keeping the pressure and temperature constant in a particular volume, the number of gas molecule would be same. The number of gas molecule would be same in a particular volume. Is it clear now? So Avogadro's law is giving us the idea about the number of molecules, giving us the relationship about the number of molecules with volume of the gas. Charles' law giving us the relationship in between volume and temperature. Boyle's law giving us the relationship in between volume and pressure. So this is the combined gas equation. Okay. So next, Avogadro law. Avogadro law, at constant pressure and temperature, the volume of the gas is directly proportional to the number of molecules of the gas present. Molecules of the gas present. Now let me check your observation and common sense and your understanding. Just now we have learned three gas. I am going to ask the question to you with the same example. Let me check how much you have understood. Before giving the answer, you have to tell me your name. Okay. So same assembly is there. Same assembly is there. Beaker, empty beaker, oxygen is there. We kept the temperature, pressure constant. We close the lid, or we will keep it open for now. We will keep it open for now. Assuming that the temperature and pressure is remain constant now, and assuming that the 100 molecules are there in the chamber of the beaker. 100 molecules are there, that we have already assumed. Now, what I am going to do, instead of keeping the temperature constant, I am keeping the pressure constant but increasing the temperature by 5 degree, by 5 degree. Okay. Now, what will be the number of gas in the beaker, chamber of the beaker? Will it get increased or will it get decreased when we increase the temperature of the beaker? Yes, anyone who is telling decrease? Yes, Rajeshwari. Why you think so? English, English, English. Yes, yes, yes. Because the molecules are absolutely correct answer, very good answer. Means what it is telling that you have understood what I taught. Very good. Okay. So let me elaborate that. That when we increase the temperature of the gas molecules are already energy rich molecules, and when we increase the temperature, it further gain with the energy, and so that they suddenly move too much away from each other, and when they want to move away from each other, obviously the content of the gas earlier which was 100 in number, it is going to be reduced. Some molecules will move very far and will move very away from far away from the from the beaker chamber, so that whatever which is remaining in the chamber of the beaker, it will be lesser. It will be 90, it will be 70, it will be 60, depend upon the temperature what we have supplied. More the temperature will supply, lesser will be the number of molecules. Okay, and volume of the gas would increase. So this only I am trying to uh, teach you about all these things. Charles law relationship. Here they have elaborated. Charles law, the temperature volume relationship. Charles law. It is at constant pressure. Same things you have to imagine. At constant pressure, the when we are keeping the pressure constant, the volume of the gas sample expands when heated and contract when cooled. Because Charles' law is giving the relationship in between volume and temperature. As the temperature increase, as the temperature increase, volume also get increased. As the temperature decrease, volume will get decreased. So simple. Okay. So this is the things that has been told from Charles law. This is the gas law now. These are the three gas laws. Okay. Important generalization regarding the macroscopic behavior of gaseous substances. One, the pressure volume relationship, Boyle's law. Robert Boyle's in 17th century. It has been done. Volume of a fixed amount of gas maintained at constant temperature is inversely proportional to the gas pressure. For a given sample of gas under two different sets of conditions at constant temperature. Here, when we combine this, P. Boyle's law, Charles law, Gay-Lucas law, Gay-Lussac law, it is giving us PV upon T that is equal to K. PV upon T that is equal to K. Okay, when we elaborate that, when we make an equation of that and we solve that, we will get this combined gas law, and that is pressure volume upon temperature that is equal to K, that is constant. Okay, here the ideal gas law, also called as general gas equation, very very important, general gas equation, it is for ideal gas equation. Ideal gas law is the equation of state of a hypothetical ideal gas, and it is it will come as PV is equal to nRT. Same equation is there. Same equation is there. T is getting transformed on the second side, so that PV is equal to N. N means number of molecules they have considered. N, K is constant, and gas constant, that is R, getting converted to R, so that it is giving us PV is equal to nRT. This is called the combined gas law or ideal gas equation. Okay. When we consider the Boyle's law, PV is equal to K. Here, T and V change, N R T are constant. When we consider Charles' law, T and V change, P and R are constant. When we consider the gas, combined gas law, okay, it is P, V and T change, N and R are constant. It's called the combined gas law. Okay, so that ideal gas equation becomes PV is equal to nRT. PV is equal to nRT. Okay, now you might have got how the combined gas equation we got. I think you have understood that it came from three laws. Okay, it came from three laws: Boyle's law, Charles' law, Avogadro's law, and from that we got the final equation of this PV is equal to nRT, which is the uh, ideal gas equation. Ideal gas equation. Okay. Now see, uh, now we are having two gases, two types of gases. One is ideal gas, ideal gases, and another one is real gases. Now let me tell you the difference of that. Ideal gases are those gases which exactly obeys the ideal gas law. Ideal gases are those gases which exactly obeys the ideal gas law. Okay, means how come? They can exactly obey the Charles law. They can exactly obey the Boyle's law. They can exactly obey the Avogadro's law. So such kind of gases which exactly obeys, exactly word I intentionally putting over here, because exact thing you want to be obeyed, and when it is getting obeyed by certain gas, then that gas only you can recognize it as ideal gas. If some of or any of the gas is not obeying any of the gas law, or either any one of among all these gas law, then we can say those gas is not obeying the ideal gas equation, so that it is no more ideal gas. It can be considered as, such gas can be considered as real gas. Such gas can be considered as real gas but not ideal gas. Is it clear to you? Okay. Let me repeat it. The gas. Now we are having different gases: hydrogen gas, carbon dioxide gas, sulfur gas, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, monoxide, carbon monoxide. Several gases are there. Now question is that which gas among all these, which gas are ideal gas and which are the real gases? Answer is very simple. The gas which obeys all the three laws or combined gas law, that gas or combined gas equation or ideal gas equation, the gas which obey these ideal gas equation, that can be considered, recognized as ideal gas. Whereas the gas which will not obey ideal gas law or ideal gas equation, not showing the behavior just like the ideal gas equation, then at that time we can say that uh, that gas is no more ideal gas, It would be real gas. It would be real gas. So, so there is the difference, always a difference between real gas and ideal gas. Now question will come, definitely, if real gases are different, and if ideal gases are different, with which respect, with which respect these these two gases or these two types of gases are different than one another? That would be a question. With which respect, in which thing they are different than one another? The answer is, the difference between ideal gas and real gas is lies in pressure and volume. Is lies in pressure and volume. Real gases are not behaving or not showing the 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 pressure which it should be shown to be obeyed with the ideal gas. In short, what I can say, to be simplified, the real gas is real gas. It is not ideal gas because it is not showing the exact pressure. Is it not showing the exact pressure which it should show to be recognized as ideal gas? Means in a simpler manner, let me explain. If an adult with uh, 18 years of age, it must be around 40 kg, for example 40 kg. Ideally it should be 40 kg. A person with 18 years of age, ideally it should be 40 kg. But a certain person is not is having the same age, 18 years of age, but not having that much weight. It may have 35 kg weight only. Then that person we can say as he is not ideal. He is not ideal. Similarly, whatever the pressure a particular gas should show, should show. If it is not showing, means what? We can say it is not obeying the ideal gas law. Under a particular condition, then we can say it is not obeying the ideal gas equation. Then at that time we can recognize such gas as real gas instead of ideal gas. Is it clear? Is it clear to all of you? Yeah, certain different pressure it may show, either less or more. But what has been expected by ideal gas equation, that is not being shown by that gas. So that only we are recognizing such gas as real gas instead of ideal gas. So there is a difference in pressure in between the ideal gas and real gas. Its behavior is not just like ideal, so that we are calling it as a real behavior. So there is a difference in between the pressure and there is a difference in between the volume too, in a similar manner which I just now told. Similar manner. From a gas, what is being expected volume, if a particular gas is not giving us, then we can say that the gas is no more an ideal gas, it is a real gas. It is coming under the real gas category. So to conclude, what we can say, there is always been a pressure, either a pressure or volume corrections which are needed in real gas equation. Corrections is needed with real gas equation. Keep in mind, there is equation for real gas, there is equation for ideal gas. Okay, but real gas equation, for a same gas, real gas equation for a same gas is different than ideal gas equation. And real gas equation is consisting of pressure correction term and volume correction term. So here, instead of PV is equal to nRT, this is the ideal gas equation. Now if you want to convert, if you want to make it for the real gas, then we have to take certain other value for V and certain other value for P. When we take the certain other value for P and certain other value for V, then what we will get? We will get the different equation, and that modified equation will be the equation for real gas. Okay, so what we can say, the real gas equation is always consisting of the pressure correction term and volume correction term. Okay, means what? Original equation will be there. Mostly original ideal equation will be there, but a pressure correction term will be there instead of P, and volume correction term will be there instead of V. Then the next modified equation will become the equation for real gas, so that we will get the different equation for ideal gas and for real gas. So there are in our you can say universe, we are having two types of gases, ideal gas equation and real gas equation. And mostly, let me tell you, because here it has been told, the ideal gas law, also called the general gas equation, is the equation of state of a hypothetical ideal gas. Very, very important. Here they are telling hypothetical gas. Means what you can say in other words, that most of the gases are real gases, and very, 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 very less gases are there which we can say they are ideal. They are obeying all the gas equation. They are very, very, very rare gases. But most of the gases, if you can take the examples of that, they are all real gases. Okay, because they are not obeying the ideal gas equation in more or less extent, by the virtue of either pressure or by the volume. There is no difference with respect to temperature in between ideal gas and real gas. The difference is there in terms of pressure and in terms of volume. Is it clear to all of you? Yes. Anybody can tell that what is meant by ideal gas? What is meant by you can say Boyle's law, Charles law? Anyone can elaborate? Let me go to that slide. Yes, anyone? Anyone can tell these gas laws what they are telling? Yes, I am waiting. Yes, anyone can tell? Anybody? Yes, who is there? Yeah, tell us, Ashwini. What the gas law and number of molecules. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now, what is Avogadro's law? Anybody can tell? Here I kept it open. Yes, who is going to tell what is Avogadro law? In the bottom only it is. Anybody can tell what is Avogadro law? Yes, yes, tell. Tell. Yes, at constant pressure and temperature, the volume of gas is directly proportional to number of molecules of gas present. Very good. What is Charles law? Anyone? Anyone? What is Charles law? What is Charles law? Yeah, Charles law is giving the uh, relationship between volume and temperature, and it is directly proportional. Okay. These are the three laws, and here we have combined, and then we got PV is equal to nRT. In the next lecture, we will see the exact real gases, and then we will see the how the pressure volume correction will be there and making the real gas equation, and then further we will see the uh, the aerosol. Okay, and and the things which are related with that. Okay.